At 30 years of age, Zach Runyon has already done more than most people have in an entire lifetime. His resume is filled with outstanding accomplishments that include working as a first responder EMT, attending medical school, working as an ER doctor, being the proud father of 2 children, and now working on his music career. Please help me welcome Zach Runyon. Zach, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be a guest on my show this evening. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I'm just going to hop right in here. As I said in the intro, you have already accomplished so much at such a young age. My first question is, are you tired?
I don't feel very young anymore. Yeah.
But you're 30.
Yeah.
Well, compared to me, that's pretty young. So.
I just don't feel it. I drink a lot of caffeine.
Oh, good. Yeah. So I want to start off first. I want to start from the very beginning with you.
Okay.
And I want to start off by saying, like I said in the intro, you're a doctor. You're an ER doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be a pretty fascinating career.
It's fun.
So,
sometimes.
yeah. So most people have an inspiration, somebody who may be in school or somebody who inspired them in their career. So who inspired you to become a doctor?
Honestly, that's a great question. I've never figured out the answer to it. That's whenever we make our personal statements to try to get into school, we have to try to come up with that reason. And I had so much trouble with it because I really don't know. I just thought it was fascinating, and I enjoyed connecting with people and, helping people, and they trust me, and it's just a nice feeling. My grandma, whenever I was younger, had cancer, and I kind of saw both sides of it. I saw some of her doctors that were real blunt and dry, and how that affected her. And then I had seen some other ones that were real friendly and personable, and how much that meant to them. So I was just like, oh, that'd be cool to be in that position. But
good.
Yeah.
So actually, it was kind of like an inspiration from your grandmother having cancer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, probably one part of it for
Wanting
sure.
to help. Yeah. I think everything we do pretty much is rooted in our childhood.
Oh yeah. For sure.
For what I do for a living outside of this show, I treat patients or clients every day, and everything they go through is rooted in childhood. Even the good stuff, even the things that we want to do. And part of the reason I do what I do is wanting to help people because of the things that I've seen. So I remember you when you were a young boy growing up in your grandparents' church back home in Nolan, West Virginia. Is it Nolan? Yeah.
Yep.
Bethel Temple, and you played the drums there, didn't you?
I played little bit of everything there, but I played the drums when I was really young there. So then I moved over to the guitar and the piano some, and
good. Yeah, it helps to have grandparents who kind of force you. Maybe I don't know if they forced you to go to church, but they expected it of you, so you kind of had to do something, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely. I make a joke. I tell people I had a drug problem when I was a kid. I got drugged to church every week, no matter if I wanted to go or not. But
that's a good kind of drug problem to have, though, being drugged to church. Yeah. So, my son, you guys used to have something called Friday Night Live every Friday at that church. It was a youth group. My son loved that, and he came too. My son's right around your age. He's 31. Is that where your love of music really started?
More than likely, my whole family was musical. I watched my mom playing music. She played piano there, and my uncle played and sang there, and my grandpa was very musical too. So I was just around it a lot, and I had access to all the little instruments there growing up. So yeah, I'd say that was probably a good starting place for me.
Good. So, like I said again in the intro, you're an ER doctor in your hometown. So you went off to school, and then you decided to go back to your hometown. What made you want to go back to the place where you grew up to be a doctor?
Well, I'm a sucker for my family. I like seeing mom and dad all the time, and it'd be hard for me to live too far away from everybody, because it's pretty important to me, just being around family and friends and stuff. So
I've seen that a lot with people who do go to medical school. They not always, but they kind of do want to go back to their hometown and help the people that they've known all their lives.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that. That's really great. So why the switch from saving lives as an ER doctor to breaking hearts with country music? What made you want to switch?
Well, I think that I've wanted to do the songwriting and the music all along. and I was just never really brave enough to do it. And, you know, and it's not really, so far at this time, it's not necessarily a switch yet. Eventually, hopefully it could be a switch. But the answer to why now is because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but I got a little lucky. I met a few people and finally got brave enough to start putting some of my songs out there and started getting reactions to them, and people were enjoying them and connecting with them. And I was like, wow, maybe I should, you know, start trying to do a little bit more of this.
Yeah.
And where I was kind of afraid to do it before.
Yeah,
It just took me 12 years to get brave enough to do it.
Hey, you know what? Everything happens in God's perfect timing. I believe that. And you said you got lucky. I feel you got blessed.
That's true.
We don't
Very,
believe in
very
luck
true.
around here. We believe in blessings.
Yeah,
from
very
God.
true.
So,
Exactly.
And yeah, so sometimes it takes that time for us to grow as a person, grow, like I'm sure in that time you probably studied other artists, you know, honed your skills with the guitar, with your singing and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, you know, it's easy sometimes for me to feel like I wasted time being too afraid to do that, and like, oh, I should have done this when I was 18, you know. But then again, you know, if I would have started back then, I probably would have been a lot more dumb and crazy, and you know, probably wouldn't have done it the right way. I do feel like it was a good timing for me because now I only work 6 days a month now.
Wow.
And so I have plenty of time to do this. I've had time to write a lot of songs. You know, so everything's kind of all in place for me now. And so I don't have to just come up with stuff. I've got all the songs I need right now to get started.
So the time that went by was really good for you.
It was.
I think
Yeah.
it's in that time of waiting. I mean,
Yeah.
we know that time of waiting, it's hard because we want things to happen right then, but it's in the time of waiting that we do grow and we do hone the skills that we need
Yeah.
when it finally happens. And I've heard people say, wow, look, you're an overnight success, but no, people aren't. It's
Yeah.
something they've worked out all for years, you know?
Yeah, they don't. People don't see that. You know, I used to sit and play instruments for hours until they told me I had to go to bed. You know, like it's just a lot. A lot does go into it. You know, the overnight success stories like TikTok or some video that goes viral or something. There was a lot that went into that. You know, so
Yeah, there
for
was,
even those
absolutely.
people.
Yeah, you know what? The calluses on the fingertips. My son
Yeah.
had those, and he was. I mean, those are well earned.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so you mentioned TikTok. I know that you really started by doing my research. I found out that you started by posting your music on TikTok and social media platforms like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of took off. You got some reactions from that. So
Yeah.
tell me Tell me how that felt.
Well, so the first thing I wrote a song. I had written a song for my mom, and I wanted to get it done and post it for a Mother's Day, and I think that was 2019, 20, somewhere around there. And so I made me like a music page on Facebook, and I went ahead and posted that, and it went really well. A bunch of people shared it, and it started getting a lot of views, and that was kind of like, whoa, you know. So I was on there replying to every comment, and which was time consuming, but I was like, wow, I can't believe it, you know, this is crazy. So that was kind of when I was like, oh, people like these songs, I'll just start posting a little more.
Yeah.
And you know, I had so many songs that nobody had ever heard.
Yeah,
So.
good. And you know that, I don't know if you know this or not, but each time you reply to a comment, it bumps you up in the algorithm. So more people see you. So
True.
always engage
Yeah.
with your audience, your followers, or even if, you know, once you make it big, because I really believe you will,
Yeah.
once you make it big, hire a social media manager and get them to
Yeah.
engage. Definitely,
Yeah.
because that does bump
Yeah.
you up and more people see your stuff like that. So, you know, social media has opened up a lot of opportunities for people who wouldn't have had those before, because when I was younger, in my time, people actually had to go knock on the doors in Nashville or
Yeah.
wherever they wanted to, you know, like in New York or Hollywood if they wanted to be an
Yeah.
actor and actress. But especially singers, that was Nashville's like Music Row, you know, and you had to go there and beg people to listen
Sure.
to you, put your song on the
Right.
radio. Is TikTok and social media what led you to be able to play like I know you played Old Red in Gatlinburg.
Yeah. So it was like kind of a mixture of things. You know, I had a friend from back home, Josh Adair. he sings really well and has some great songs, and he needed a guitar player and at Old Red, and I started playing with him, and I met a few people at Old Red just from playing there with Josh, and those people kind of connected me with some other people, and then I ended up getting to play at the Listening Room Cafe, and that's where I met some people. It's funny, I showed up there, and the people that were playing before me were just out of this world good, and I was like, I can't play after them. And I asked the manager, I was like, is everybody that plays here this good? And she was like, no, not usually. It was just like a really, almost a divine meeting. And I ended up meeting them after and connected with them. It was Chelsea Stallings and Kaylee Bishop. You know, they're in Nashville. They're songwriters and artists. And they liked my songs. And she was like, hey, you should come play with us in Nashville and everything. So I ended up playing at the Listening Room Cafe in Nashville with them. And it just felt really surreal to me because, you know, I never processed in my mind that I could ever do that. And just one thing leads to another. You meet people, and it's kind of just exponentially started happening. I meet a lot of people, writing with a lot of people now, getting to play a lot of places down there, and it's really exciting, you know.
Yeah. Well, you hopped right to my next question. The Listening Room, I've heard of that, or Listening Room Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like, I've heard it's like a pinnacle, almost like a peak place to play here in Pigeon Forge. That
Yeah.
everybody wants to play there. Is that true? Or?
It's just a really great place for songwriters. You know, I've played at a lot of places where you would never dare play original songs. You know, if you're playing at a bar or you're playing, you know, people just want to sing along.
Yeah.
You know, but if you really enjoy songwriting and you like your lyrics and you want to connect with people, it's a great place because people come there to hear your songs.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something really special about getting to play your own songs, you know, telling your own story. When people connect with your songs, it's a lot different than covering somebody else's, you know.
I can see what you mean. If people are at a bar and they're kind of drunk or kind of
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
there,
Free
they
bird.
don't care about your lyrics and
Yeah.
how hard you worked, the pain you went through to write
Yeah.
those lyrics. They just want to hear, like, you know, Luke Bryan.
Yep,
Somebody sing
right.
Luke Bryan or whatever, Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
So I like the name that it's the Listening Room because people actually come to listen. So I
Yeah.
really like that.
Yeah.
So I also read that you're a member of the Songwriters Association.
Yeah.
That sounds like an incredible opportunity.
They've
Tell
helped me a lot. Yeah, it's been great. Somebody recommended me, you know, go to them, and I got my membership with them and met with them, and they listened to a lot of my songs, and they've been great. They've helped me a lot. They've invited me to, or there's pitches where you pitch a song to record labels, and they can either say no thanks, or they can take a copy of it, and whatever happens happens. And I've been pretty fortunate so far. I've pitched 3 or 4 songs, and they've all taken a copy, and so that's all kind of in the works right now. So
Good.
really don't know what'll come of it, but it's been cool.
Listen,
Yeah.
I have no doubts that you're gonna listen. I have no doubt that one of these days I'm gonna be like, can I get your autograph? You were on my show. Remember when I was brand new
Oh,
starting
gosh.
out? I really
Yeah.
believe it's gonna happen for you. I've listened to your songs, and you're a fantastic
Thank
singer,
you.
fantastic musician. So so to be a part of that is an amazing achievement.
Thank you.
So do they tell you like what artists are going to listen to your songs, or is just like whoever could end up with it ends up with it?
Yeah, well, they send someone from that company as like a representative to, I guess, a scout or something. I don't know. It's not been an artist that comes. It's been some person that, like a talent scout or somebody, and they kind of take it back with them, I suppose. But
So if the artist, somebody like Reba or Luke Bryan likes it, then they'll say, "Hey, I want that song."
if you're lucky enough for them to hear it, yeah, for
well,
sure.
that's going to be in my prayers for you tonight.
Thanks,
Okay?
yeah.
So you have kids.
Yep, I got a couple. I got a 6-year-old boy, Levi, and a 4-year-old little girl, Maddie.
Yeah, and listen, I see their pictures on Facebook all the time. Your grandmother is very proud
Oh,
of them.
yeah,
and they
she's a
are
poster.
gorgeous kids. They
Thank
are
you.
so sweet. Yeah. So what do they think about their dad being a singer in Music City,
Oh,
Nashville?
they love it. It's my little boy especially. He sings really well actually. He's got really good pitch, and he knows all the words to my songs. It's really sweet. I actually just played back in Logan at the Freedom Festival, Logan, West Virginia. Maddie and Tay came in. I got to open that, and there was a song I had written for my little boy, and there was a lot of people out there. And I asked him if he wanted to come up on stage, and he came right up, wasn't even scared. And he sat with me, and then right in the middle of the song, I was like, "Do you want to sing it?" He was like, "Sure." Didn't even care. So like at the end of the song, I handed him the mic and he sang it, and it was really cool. Yeah.
What a great introduction to music for him.
Oh, yeah.
And being 6 years old, he
Wasn't even
probably-
scared.
Yeah, he has no fear. He's brave.
Yeah.
When you're little, you're just brave. You'll do anything. But that's really great for him. A great opportunity for him. And I'm glad that it's happening while they're young. They can
Yeah.
watch their dad grow and become really successful. So I also read that you have an album coming out really soon. Tell the viewers about that.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I've got the songs recorded. They're done. They're ready. And I'm really happy with them. I don't know if I'm going to release them all as an album or if I'm going to start doing like a single every 3 months. I'm still learning kind of how to do that, but it's all ready. It's all done and it's ready to go. So sometime this year, I'm working on music videos right now for some of those, because I guess you need to have a video to go with your song. But whenever I get figured out the right way to do it, I'll be doing that this year. So
Yeah, if you need an old lady to play in the video, come get me. I'm available. I've got gray hair.
Oh gosh.
So me and your grandmother will be up there dancing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, so I've got some really good news for you viewers. Zach is about to play us a song. So is this a song that you've written, or is this like a song you want to cover?
It's a song I wrote. It's really interesting. It's a song I wrote about songwriting. It's probably one of my favorite songs I wrote, because it kind of fits the agenda that I have. When it comes to this, I'll say this too. Growing up in church and everything, it's kind of difficult to just say you're going out and playing country music, because it doesn't always vibe well with some people. But in my mind, my goal is I'm sort of bridging people to be able to plant some seeds. A lot of my songs I write are not about in your face Christian songs, but it'll be a song about life or about a mom or about your son or something, and then you can slip in a little bit somewhere in there. So because if you come straight at people, sometimes they're going to turn it off. They don't want to but when they see somebody at Old Red or somewhere in Nashville or even at a bar, playing some fun songs, and they're thinking, oh, if this guy can, have some grace and talk to God, maybe I don't have to be perfect, and it's not as exclusive, So I've had a lot of really cool stories like that, and I put a little bit of God in my songs, just enough, to plant that, to connect, to be a bridge. So
I like that, Zach. That you know what? I really needed that, because I've been praying about something. I actually have a couple of people who want to be a guest on my show, and they have a business that is like a moonshine business.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm kind of like, do I
Yeah.
have them on or not? I don't
Right.
know. But I'm glad you said that. You're the second person this week who has said that exact same thing to me.
yeah.
So that helps me a lot. Also, Lauren Daigle, it's like that too.
Yeah.
Christian singer Lauren Daigle, she has a song out right now that I don't even know if she mentions God in the song, but it's so beautiful. And I thought, man, this could be sung at a wedding,
Yeah.
But yet she is a Christian singer. So she is going to draw people who don't necessarily listen to the gospel music or
Yeah.
praise and worship music. She'll draw them with that song, and then
Yeah.
they'll try to seek out her other
Yeah.
songs. And
Yeah.
it's very
I mean,
nice.
yeah, it's just, it's Mark 16:15, go into the world and tell all creation, I don't really believe in staying in the church and excluding everyone else,
Jesus
so.
didn't.
Right.
Jesus went out, he sat
Pastors
with
with tattoos, I mean, they can reach people that other people can't reach. And, so that's part of my, and not every song is, that way. I have some dumb, silly songs about food and stuff that, but yeah, it's really fulfilling. It's very purposeful for me in that way, because I can connect with people through my music in just uplifting ways, or in that way, plant a seed here and there.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. And the Bible also says to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So, and I work in a job right now, my day job, where I can't mention God to any of my patients at all. I just can't even talk about it. So I pray every morning. I'm like, Lord, how do I slip you in? And so occasionally I will say, like today, I said one of the Proverbs.
Oh, nice.
And nobody knew it was from the Bible, but they heard it. And I said, Lord, you said in your word that your word would would not return void. Or
Mm-hmm.
and so if I don't have to tell them it's from the Bible, but if I
Right.
can put it out there and nobody says anything and I don't get in trouble, then I've
you go.
planted some
You
seed
did
somewhere.
something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know what, I'm gonna really consider that when I consider guests for my show. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
yeah. So if you're ready to go, let's
I'm ready.
pick up that guitar and get started.
We'll do it.
Okay.
People ask me how I write these songs, where the words come from and where do you start? And I smile as I tell them all the same thing. Writing it down is the easy part. I don't sit around and think of new ideas. Don't reproduce some special kind of art. It takes a whole lot of joy and pain in living. Writing it down is the easy part. It comes from that phone call on a sunny April day when it knocked you to your knees to hear your grandpa passed away. Knowing that'll leave a hole that you can't feel inside your heart. Writing it down is the easy part. It comes from that mistake that hurts somebody that you love. Watching them work through it with the help from up above. Knowing that you can't forget the hurt you put there in her heart. Writing it down is the easy part. Comes from those taillights driving away. Years and years of missing her every single day. Best songs come from something that usually breaks your heart. Writing it down is the easy part. Comes from that old church, US 23, where you walked up to that altar and got down on your knees, getting your name in that book of life by giving God your heart. Writing it down is the easy part. Writing all these songs is the easy part.
Oh my gosh, Zach, that was absolutely beautiful. I had chills all the way down to my ankles. I felt like the hairs were standing up on my arms. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Is that going to be on your album or your extended play?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as an album, an extended play?
Pretty much. I mean, it's like usually about 5 songs somebody kind of lets go. But I've just been hearing a lot of people say, do one song at a time, and it kind of changes all the time what's best to do. But
I was going to say a minute ago when we were talking, I think one song at a time, because you keep teasing people.
Mhm.
So you put that out,
Yeah.
and then they're like, wow, when is the next one? Just like
Yeah.
with books, I had a
Mhm.
friend on here who's an author, and she puts one book out at a time.
yeah,
So.
whenever I finally do release it, it'll be a song every 3 months.
Good.
So I'll be on this like track of every 3 months I'll release a song.
Yeah, well, I cannot wait. Like, I am so, that was absolutely beautiful. And it was a song it wasn't about going to the bar getting, sloshed or whatever. It was
Yeah.
just a beautiful song about life and
Yeah.
stuff. Just really beautiful.
Thank
So,
you.
what's next for you other than your extended play and your singles? Where can our viewers see you perform?
Well, so it's kind of just hit or miss. I'm a little bit of everywhere right now. The best way to see me is just to add me on socials, and I post all my shows on there. Like I'm playing tomorrow night in Nashville, and at a songwriters round, and then next week I'm playing at the Rusty Nail next week in Nashville, and back home it's kind of hit or miss. I'll do a last minute show, but right now it's kind of unorganized. But yeah, that's the only thing right now is I got socials: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. My Instagram's kind of new. I don't really know how to use it, to be honest. But I message back. I get on there if anyone has any questions about or wants me to play somewhere. I usually just go and play just because I enjoy it. So
Now, for me, Instagram is the easiest. I don't understand that TikTok. That's for the young kids. I don't get the TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was actually talking to some people today. A girl, she was in her 30s, and she was like, I don't understand it either. TikTok seems really hard for me. I don't know.
it's
Maybe it's from
it's
home.
different for sure.
But listen, I want to thank you so much again for coming on my show. It means so much to me to have you here to like honor us with your music and stuff. And I know that you have this wildly gigantic, successful music career ahead of you.
Thank
I
you.
really believe that. I
That
do.
means a lot, and
so.
then like I said, I'm flattered and honored that you had me on. It's my pleasure.
So we will link all of your social media accounts.
Awesome.
At the end of the show on the screen at the end. That's how
Cool.
we do it. So if
That's
anybody,
awesome.
if you guys want to contact Zach to have him perform or to find out how you can listen to his music, just stay tuned for the accounts listed at the end. And remember to always dream big, because big dreams do come true. Thank you guys for watching.